Hi everybody, Craig here. Welcome to the second episode of my 1 vs 4 Age of Wonders 3 playthrough series. In this series, I'm playing against 4 Emperor AI that are on a team against me, and I'm playing as the Shadow Elf Sorcerer, Malus Nightlord. In our last episode, we started off the game, we spawned into the Shadow Realm, which is kind of the default location for Shadow Elves, sort of hence the name. And we got established. We started building up our throne city here. We're currently working on a siege workshop to really try to increase our production capabilities. And we also did a pretty decent job of actually exploring kind of around us. We got really fortunate to spawn kind of here in the corner so that we've sort of got our backs up against the wall here such that we don't have to really worry about all of the danger coming at us from all sides. We only kind of have to worry about it from 2 fronts here, which is quite nice. But we did make contact with this city here, the outpost of Yathlon, and we now are in the process of actually doing a quest for them, if I'm not mistaken. So tell me about the quest again. Yes, here. So we have to quell this rebellion, and that's happening somewhere around here. We'll have to figure that out as we go forward. But in any case, we're going to be taking care of that for this city to hopefully get them to be our vassal then. We also made contact with this city over here, and we're still waiting to hear from them. So we're doing pretty well in terms of making friends and starting to maybe acquire some vassal cities en route to eventually having them be our cities. And then we also leveled up our heroes a little bit, so we have Malus Nightlord himself, level 3, and we also have here Virix the Arctic Widow, who is our Theocrat hero, who's actually at level 4 already, and we have a number of our units leveled up here. So we're doing pretty well, but we've still got a lot of work ahead of us, obviously. Now, before I dive into this episode, I did just want to give a quick shout out to a few individuals who left comments on the last episode. So Jade Knight left a comment sort of just kind of musing about Shadow Elves and kind of how interesting they looked and a few of their characteristics. He had mentioned that Shadow Elves in many ways are kind of like a shock-focused version, even more so than High Elves. Because High Elves already do have a bit of a shock damage focus, Shadow Elves have sort of almost doubled down on that and have really specced into that. And I really agree. I think that's a very good description of them. So, again, I agree with you, Jade. I think that's a good way to describe them, sort of. And, of course, I'm paraphrasing. I didn't quote exactly, but hopefully I didn't mischaracterize your comment there. And then Casper Eklund left a comment. Again, as he always does, excellent comment. A couple of great tips in there, but the one thing that he had mentioned that I kind of was kicking myself for not doing was actually highlighting the impacts of getting rank ups with these different units. And that's something that obviously is extremely important. I think in the last episode I was suddenly surprised when my Shadow Elf Storm Priest at gold medal rank here ended up getting Bestow Static Shield, and I was suddenly so surprised by that. But it is important, especially when you're dealing with units that you're not familiar with, to look at how leveling them up is going to change them and potentially really make them a lot stronger. So in this case, Bestow Static Shield at gold medal, the target unit receives Static Shield until the end of battle, which is extremely powerful. So I think what we'll do this episode is we'll take a few minutes here and we'll go through the units that I have, as well as any new units as they pop up. We'll make sure that we go through their rank upgrades and see what they get, because I'm sure, like I said in the previous episode, obviously a lot of people probably won't be familiar with these Shadow Elves in the same way that I'm still learning about them. So anyway, thank you to both guys there for the excellent comments. I really do appreciate them, and I think with that we will kind of get underway here. So as I said, let's start with what Casper suggested. So we'll go through these and take a quick peek. So our Shadow Elf Touched, again, this is our irregular unit who does have the ability to evolve into another Shadow Elf unit, which is pretty cool, actually. I do like that. Kind of reminiscent of the Draconian Hatchling a little bit. So let's take a peek here. So we're currently at Veteran rank, which is the bronze medal. So as we level up, the big bonus there is that at Veteran rank, which is what we're at, we get Inflict Marked by Shadows. And that is kind of like Inflict Despair, where when you inflict Marked by Shadows, in this case, melee and ranged attacks can inflict Marked by Shadows, causing them to suffer an extra +3 shock damage from units with Exploit Shadows. So Marked by Shadows kind of pairs with Exploit Shadows in the same way that Inflict Despair kind of pairs with Exploit Despair. So again, very powerful if paired with a unit that has Exploit Shadows, so that's a pretty cool upgrade. You can see here that the rest of them are basically just stat upgrades. So that covers the Shadow Elf Touched, which is our Tier 1 irregular unit. Let's take a peek at our Pikeman unit, our Shadow Elf Night Guard. So we have this one at Veteran rank, so let's see here. Now at Elite rank, which we're not at yet, we get Exploit Shadows, which pairs very nicely then with that the Touched unit, Shadow Elf Touched, because again, you have Marked by Shadows and then Exploit Shadows. And we also get Ground Magic, and I'm not sure what that is, so I guess we'll have to wait to see. Even more incentive for me to level these guys up, I guess. Now let's take a peek at our Storm Priest, who we've kind of already looked at, but the big ones here are going to be at Veteran rank. We get Dispel Magic, which is extremely useful for a variety of different purposes. And then obviously the big enchilada here is at Elite rank, we end up with that Bestow Static Shield, which we've already talked about, and that's super powerful and a really neat kind of upgrade there for a unit. If you're going to give this to a unit in battle, especially a melee unit that's going up and getting in the fight, that's going to be very, very good. So I'm quite happy that these Storm Priests, they just keep kind of surprising me with how interesting and how cool they are. So that covers those units. I think we also have our Cavalry to take a peek at, and then we'll dive into the meat and potatoes of this episode. So we have our Shadow Elf Exterminator here, which is our Tier 2 Cavalry unit. Important to note here, they start off with Lifesteal and Inflict Mark by Shadows, so these guys would pair nicely with leveled up Pikeman units that have that Exploit Shadows. So let's take a peek here. So they're not leveled up at all. So far, up until Expert, we don't really have anything special. We're just getting stat upgrades. But then at Elite rank, we get Wrapped in Shadows and Projectile Resistance. So Projectile Resistance, obviously very powerful, taking less damage from those incoming ranged attacks. But then we also have Wrapped in Shadows, and I actually don't know what that is. I'm guessing maybe that makes them, who knows, maybe a little bit harder to hit or something like that, or as in maybe they take a little less damage from attacks or something like that. I'm not sure. That'll be really interesting to find out. So again, more incentive for me to level up these units and find out what some of these upgrades do. So I think we're going to end our turn here, because last time we had basically wrapped up our turn. I'm just going to double check here and make sure everybody's kind of happily moved as much as they can. And I think they have. So we're going to end our turn there. So while this turn is flipping over, Casper Eklund had also mentioned that Grey Guards can benefit later on from an upgrade that gives them the ability to basically recover casting points by killing certain units. So I'm really excited to go down the Grey Guard kind of upgrade path, as I've got very limited experience with Grey Guard, but it was actually thanks to Casper's comment on an episode a long time ago that had actually kind of, ooh, and look at this. Okay, so we're being attacked. I'll just finish that thought before the battle, but Casper had suggested that Grey Guard might pair nicely with sort of a Sorcerer or something like that, and so that's actually why I'm trying it out. So again, big thank you to Casper for that comment back in the day, and also all the comments he keeps coming. So let's try this battle. Looks like these might be the units here that are, I'm not sure if these are the ones from the quest. I didn't notice if they had the little trophy over their head or not. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to summon our Lightning Sprite. So there we go. And we're going to have to be a little bit cautious here, as some of our units are a little bit worse for wear, as you can kind of see. So I think we'll drop a heal there first of all. We'll keep our Touched kind of in reserve, because they're, again, a little bit beat up. We don't really want to risk them if we don't have to. So let's end our turn there. We're going to try and kind of draw these units in. So we've got our 2 pikemen that we're fighting and our 2 irregular units here. So I think we'll be alright. So we're going to send our Lightning Sprite in to just tank some damage, essentially. And I think we'll just do a little bit of ranged attacks here, just to kind of soften them up just a touch. There we go. And then we can put our Night Guard like that to guard us a little bit. Appropriately named, of course. And we'll bring our Storm Priest in like that, and then we'll keep our Touched in reserve. Now let's see what happens here. Now I forgot these units have Sprint. The Irregulars have Sprint, which could end up being a bit of an issue, but we ended up doing just fine there. So now let's hit them with Spirit damage. Ooh, and we got a nice critical there. That's going to obliterate them, no problem at all. And now we've got our other Night Guard up here who we could kill off with Malus himself. So why don't we do that? There we go. And now we can start blasting these Shadow Elf Touched with our Storm Priest here. I suppose we also could have bestowed a Static Shield instead of summoning our little Lightning Sprite, but I actually liked using the Lightning Sprite the way that I did there, so we'll move in and get the kill like that. And then we get a nice flanking attack here, which we will take full advantage of, and we will get the kill. Perfect. Nice clean battle there. We took a bit of damage, but nothing too crazy. And that was our quest. Okay, perfect. So that actually saves us the trouble of having to venture in there. Okay, so if we take the reward, we're going to get a vassal proposal from this city, and we're also going to get a Shadow Elf Exterminator, which I will happily take. We actually are doing very well for gold right now, so I'm not even at all worried about the gold. So let's take that. We're also going to get some extra race happiness with Shadow Elves, so we'll take that reward all day long. And we've now got our first governance upgrade here with Shadow Elves. So I went through this tree last time, but let's see what we've got here for our first one, just to refresh our memory. So our military upgrade is going to be that our Irregulars gain Shadow Realm Concealment and extra movement. Our economic upgrade is that our Shadow Elf cities and units no longer dislike blighted or subterranean terrain. I'm going to take this one, because again, if we want to eventually go underground in the non-Shadow Realm world, I don't really want my units being upset about that, so having lower morale. So we will take the economic upgrade. Oh, and we've had a join offer here. Ooh! Varaxon the Executioner, a level 2 Necromancer. Well, and you guys all know my affinity for Necromancers, so I am very interested in taking this unit. Let's take a peek at his talents real quick. So he's got kind of all the standard Necromancer traits, but then he's also got Dark Zeal. This unit deals an additional +3 frost and shock damage against heretic units. Geez, so he's almost like a holy Necromancer. That's kind of interesting. Committed to his evil, or I guess I shouldn't say evil, but to his dark cause. That's pretty cool. And he's also got Undead Slayer as an upgrade. I'm definitely going to take this unit. That is very cool. I'm quite happy to have a Necromancer hero. Excellent there. And you know what? We're actually going to be able to almost build ourselves up a little mini stack here. Maybe we can clear out this glass furnace here. Again, we have to be careful because there's a lot of fire damage potential here. And again, we do have this spy drone which will explode on us. So that's going to be a pretty sketchy battle, I think, for us as Shadow Elves, who are a little bit more susceptible to that fire damage. Alright, so Malus has leveled up. So let's see now, what kind of upgrades would we want for him? Again, we want to upgrade our party, that much is for sure. Now, here we go. All units in the hero's army gain Dragon Slayer and Draconian Slayer, causing them to deal +3 damage, +3 physical damage, I should say, to Dragon and Draconian units. On the surface, this might not seem that useful, but since we have that fire weakness, and when we're up against Draconians who do a lot of fire damage, that could end up being a bit of a problem. This upgrade is actually pretty solid for a Shadow Elf, so I think I'm going to take it. That's actually quite nice for us, because again, if we're fighting those units that do fire damage, we kind of want all the help we can get. And then I think I'll take Spirit Shield. All units in the hero's army gain +40% Spirit Protection. I think we'll definitely take that upgrade as well. Okay, and then we also had a level up here for our Theocrat hero as well, who is now level 5. So let's see, what can we get here? So we now have access to additional spells here, but I think... Let's see. Touch of Faith is quite nice. This is a nice one to have. We've already got Bestow Iron Heart, though, so I think maybe I'll hold off on that. It is nice, though, to give that extra resistance, as well as the morale boost to a friendly unit. I'm so used to playing a Necromancer with my undead units that I always kind of look over this one because it doesn't affect undead units, but in this instance, that would be quite useful. This is a decent one, too, once this unit's leading her own army. But let's see, what kind of spell casting do we have? So we have Smite and Divine Protection. bit of extra casting points might not be so bad. Let's go back in here. I think we'll do Healing Aura, and then we'll save the rest of our points. Although, you know what? Touch by Faith is quite nice to have, especially if we're up against heavy elemental damage, so I'm going to take it as well. There we go. Alright, so our Necromancer can also be leveled up, which is great. Started off level 2, and we're going to take protection from light, especially for that fire protection. This is going to give us extra spirit and fire protection, so we're going to take that for sure. That is a very nice upgrade for our Shadow Elves. So we'll group him up there. And then, you know what, we could actually send this cavalry unit down to even assist here with this stack. Be nice to have a ranged unit in there, but actually, you know what, we could even send one of our leveled up other units here down. Maybe one of our pikemen, and then replace it with the cavalry unit. That might not be the worst plan ever. Let's see, so we've got our 2 pikemen. Let's send one down. It's going to take them a little bit longer to get there, but I think that's going to be a good plan for me. There we go. That way we've got a bit more variety in this stack. So we'll send this one over because we want to get ready to take out this glass furnace, I think. We can also jump our Wisp in to help with that battle too when the time comes. And then what we'll do is we'll group the Shadow Elf Executioner, Exterminator, excuse me, into the stack here so that we get the benefit of the Tier 2 Cavalry. Alright, so now this is our vassal, which is great for us. So now we have to decide where do we want to go. And I think the plan is going to be to go over here. So we'll use this Wisp here to do some more scouting. Now, have we checked out what's in the Shadow Realm through this? No, we have not. So, excuse me, through the Shadow Gate. So we'll check that out. Alright, so now we're in the overworld. I suppose we could grab these haste berries and do some more exploring. Although, yeah, I think that's maybe what we'll do. So let's grab these haste berries. So we've got Ancient Ruin here. We do have a city. Let's see, what kind of city is it? Ooh, we've got a High Elf city. Interesting. And you know what? I think we will accept a peace treaty with them. We have to be careful as we're now starting to kind of get a little bit more to the good side of things, but I'm sure we can come up with some evil deeds quite quickly to counteract that. So I think we'll just do some more exploring out here in the overworld with that particular unit. Now, fortunately, we have this other Wisp here who is going to do some additional exploring kind of up north this way, I think. So we will just keep kind of moving. There's a canyon here that we can't pass. And let's keep moving. Okay, we've got another city up here, so we want to go make contact with that and find out what kind of city that is. Something that I thought of in the last episode, and I never really checked it out, or I guess I should say between this episode and between the last episode and this episode, I'm not sure if my summoned units end up with Shadow Sickness. So this unit is vulnerable to Shadow Sickness. And that means that in the Shadow Realm, so unit is vulnerable to the strange nature of the Shadow Realm. When traveling in the Shadow Realm, unit receives -1 defense, -1 resistance, and -1 damage. So that's actually important to remember, that my summoned units are going to be affected by that, and that they are vulnerable to that. So that is the one maybe disadvantage of having lots of summoned units that aren't Shadow Elves when you're playing a Shadow Elf that's spending time in the Shadow Realm. So important to remember there. Okay, so enough of my yammering. Let's get to making a choice here. So let's head up this way. We'll clear out the furnace. So we'll use our unit here to initiate the battle. And again, we have to be pretty careful here because this battle is dangerous for us since these units do so much fire damage. We've really got to watch out. Alright, so let's move back here. We'll throw up our lightning sprite. And then we're obviously going to want to kind of be cautious here. So I think what we'll do is we'll use Touched by Faith on our cavalry, who are going to end up probably kind of moving in and being our our frontline unit a bit in this particular battle. And then we'll also send Malus a bit further back. We'll move up like that. Trying to kind of space out my units a little bit such that they don't end up getting blasted too heavily. And we'll send our little Shadow Elf touched back that way, and we'll also turn him. There we go. Alright, so I imagine we're going to take a nice bombardment here. Yeah, there it comes. Okay, fortunately our Lightning Sprite did survive, which is good. So now we can actually move in. And not only can we move in, we can do a flanking attack, which is great. And then we can move up a little bit here, do some big damage. There, that Draconian Slayer is paying dividends right there, which is fantastic for us. Okay, and now we want to see if maybe we can get in some ranged attacks here. Do a little bit of damage. There's that Draconian Slayer. Oof, that is nice. Alright, and we can actually... Here's what we're going to do. We're going to move in like this, get the kill, which is excellent. And then move in like this and get the flank. Big damage there. Fantastic. And now we're going to move in with Malus here. And we can actually finish off the Flamer, which is perfect. And I don't think we're going to be able to get there even if we use Sprint, but let's try it. No, not quite. We can't quite make it in, so we'll just hang back. And now the Flamer's going to have to deal with our... And there's that lifesteal paying some dividends as well, giving us a bit of our health back, which is fantastic. Okay. Now the question is, what the heck do we do with this stack? We've got lots of other structures to clear out. We've got an ancient ruin that we already explored, but we've got some structures up here that need to be cleared out as well. We also have to remember that this city may eventually give us a quest here, so we don't want to get too far away from that city. So maybe what we'll do is we will actually kind of head over this way. It's unfortunate it's going to take us some time to kind of go that way. However, maybe we could go down this way, clear out this mana node, and then move along the road here, clearing out all these structures. So I think maybe that's what we'll do. So we'll head down this way and start working on that. That's going to be the game plan there. And then with this stack, we're going to just hang out, and that's going to do it for our turn. So we're going to end our turn there. Excellent. We can now summon another Wisp, which is going to be helpful for us. I would like to use this Necromancer to build up a few cadavers as well to kind of help me out. And I do also have to pay attention to my mana income, because in the early game here, I do fortunately have this Gemstone Mine giving me 10 mana, as well as a mana node here providing some mana income. But I have to watch out because I don't want to get overtaxed such that I can't cast spells. And eventually I'm going to want to have a unit go up north this way. So maybe once this stack gets going a little bit, I'll send them up north. Although, and this is where it's kind of important to think about this, I've got tombs here, and those would be perfect to raid with my Necromancer once the Necromancer is a bit stronger. That's actually, again, when you're playing a Necromancer or you have a Necromancer hero, seeing those tombs is just like, it's like seeing a gold mine, you know? And I don't mean the actual, like, little gold mine structure. I mean it in terms of sort of the figurative, you know, it's going to be very valuable for you kind of way. Okay, so we've got an alliance proposal here. Oh, and they just want to become a vassal. Perfect. So we can use some of our gold to do that, so let's do it. Absolutely, I will take that. Now we've got additional income, and we are working on getting them. So they may eventually offer us a quest of some kind, but for now, that's fantastic. So they won't be ready to join us for 6 more turns, so that's just fine. And let's see about this city. They're going to be ready to join us in 5 turns. So let's just kind of focus on clearing out structures, getting some more income, and doing a bit of that while we're kind of working on this. Alright, so there's our stack now. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to summon a Wisp here to join this stack. And I am going to bring this Wisp in just to assist in this battle, because things could get a little out of hand here. So let's initiate combat. And again, I have to be extremely careful. I may end up having to sacrifice one of my Wisps here, if not both. The reason I say that is because this pesky spy drone is going to explode when it gets near me. So we'll move our wisps up again to kind of be our vanguard a little bit. And I'm going to keep my Necromancer hero back just a touch. Once again, I don't want to risk my hero getting too damaged. And I'm imagining we may take a firebomb here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, the spy drone is now in. And that's actually pretty good as to where it went, because that means we can probably kill it here. Yeah, with our ranged attack. And we will take a attack of opportunity there if we try to run. So I think we'll just let our wisp die here. There we go. That's kind of a shame, but again, the wisp is the one I was totally willing to sacrifice, and that's kind of why I brought the wisp in the first place. So now let's move in here, and we're going to try and kill off the draconian hatchlings if possible. Do as much damage to them as we can. Not quite get the kill, which is a shame because we're going to take some more fire damage there. Hopefully our pikemen don't get killed here. That would be a real shame, as they're now a silver medal. Ouch. Now let's see, did they level up? Yeah, they did. Okay. So we'll use our exterminators. Actually, we'll use our pikemen to get the kill there. And then that's going to allow us to... Can we get in? Yes, we can. We can get in behind and flank them like that, which is great. And then now let's come in. And I would like to reanimate a corpse here. So we'll move in like this, and then we will grab ourselves a brand new friend. And we'll get the kill, a little bit of lifesteal back as well, which is perfect. So obviously Heal Undead is going to not be able to heal our units because they're alive. But we can now have that cadaver, which we can take advantage of. So now what we'll do is we'll start heading up along the road here, I think. Yeah, so we're gonna send this stack up along the road. I think maybe I'll send the wisp back to guard the city, though. Just because I'm a little paranoid and I don't want to leave the city completely unguarded. So we'll move ourselves up here that way. We'll send this cadaver to join this stack next turn here. Okay, and our throne has now produced a siege workshop, so now we got some decisions to make. We can now also make Shadow Elf apprentice units, which will be quite cool, I think. These would be fun to have. Let's actually take a peek at them. So, is there anything kind of special about them? They, of course, have Mend Magical Being, which is good. Here's Wrapped in Shadows. Let's see. Projects an aura of projectile resistance, which affects this unit and all adjacent units with the same owner as the source. That is very interesting. So they almost have like a little kind of buffer zone around them. That is super, super cool. I really like that ability. That's quite neat. So they get, as a result of having this, they get projectile resistance, and then they also can give that to units that are around them. That's actually quite powerful. Very, very happy about that. Okay, but enough of that. Let's see if we want to produce something else here. Okay, here we go. And this is the racial upgrade, city defense upgrade for Shadow Elves, I'm guessing. Produce Storm Tower. When this city is attacked, the Storm Tower will attack one random enemy unit each round with a lightning strike, inflicting 8 shock damage, and attempting to inflict shocking for that has a 7 shock resistance check there, you can see. That same target for 2 turns, so they would get shocking for 2 turns. Enemies behind the city walls cannot be affected. That's pretty cool. And especially since a lot of my units do shock damage, that's actually a really nice upgrade, a really nice racial defense upgrade there. I quite like that a lot. Okay, so now the question is, do I want to go all out on this Masters Guild 4 turns, or do I want to start maybe working on a laboratory and get my research going? Alternatively, I could work on a shrine, although that's maybe not quite as efficient. My instinct here is to go Masters Guild to just maximize my production. So I think that's what we're going to do. If we get extra 15, then we could finish a laboratory in 1 turn, a shrine in 1 turn. I think that's going to be more efficient. So let's do the Masters Guild. Now we're going to be quite poor in a way, kind of like being sort of house poor when you go out all out for a big mortgage. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. We're living a little frugally, but that's okay. Okay, here we go. So now we've made contact with another city, and this is the village of Chiron. So we're going to let Let them know when we're ready to talk. So this is another Shadow Elf. Okay, and here I think we found our first... Yes, so this is a Shadow Demon spawning structure here. Larvae pool, Shadow Demon spawn from this strange pool. And that's pretty scary. They've already got a Shadow Demon Harvester guarding it. It's a tier 3 unit, so definitely have to watch out for that. For reference here, let's take a peek at these Shadow Demons once again. So they are dedicated to evil, and they're a magical origin creature. They're considered a monster. This one actually kind of has the ability to spawn larvae from corpses, much the way a necromancer can spawn cadavers from corpses. And that's what this ability is. On top of it, it actually just has a cooldown, and it doesn't cost any action points. So you could spawn a whole army of larvae from basically one battle where you just run around eating the corpses. So these Shadow Demons are pretty nasty. Fortunately, they are weak to shock, and my units have Shadow Demon Slayer, which gives them an advantage against Shadow Demons. So I think I'm going to be optimally positioned to fight them and do well against them, but they are still kind of scary. They also have night vision. And now, the one thing I'm not sure of, I don't know if night vision also impacts in the Shadow Realm. I get the impression that I think it does, and that would explain why my Shadow Elves have night vision inherently as well. But that's something I'm not exactly 100% sure of. Okay, so we're just going to keep exploring up that way. And here's our little guy in the shadow, in the overworld, I should say, in the surface. So we can do a little bit more exploring with him. There we go. So how are we doing for our alignment? So we do have to start working on being more evil. So if any of our units want to fight us, we want to get aggressive and do that. Okay, so we're going to move down, and we're going to basically just advance along the road here with our main stack. That's going to be the game plan there. And I think that's going to do it for our turn. However, I am going to start summoning another Wisp to replace the one that I had to sacrifice in that one battle. Excuse me. So far, so good. I'm quite happy with how this game is progressing at the moment. Hasn't been perfect, as I have made a few mistakes here and there, but I'm still having nightmares about losing that Shadow Elf caster, the Storm Priest, in that opening episode. That was just ugh. But again, you know, it happens, and you just have to keep moving forward. So that's what we're doing. Now, in terms of moving beyond these two cities, obviously, I want to clear out as much of this as I can. Maybe grab some of this extra research to speed us up a little bit. Excellent. Okay, we are now able to start working on Phantasm Warriors, which is fantastic. So we'll throw that guy in defense mode there. I think we're actually going to throw our Wisp here into this party, just to give them a little bit of an extra boost there. Now the question is, do I think we can handle this Spirit Elemental and the Mariner with this stack? It's a bit of a tall order. We aren't in the best shape right now. My instincts are telling me no. However, we could probably move over here and deal with this stack. Maybe have a chance. Of course, we would maybe have to sacrifice somebody, although that's kind of the job of the cadaver, is to be the sacrificial lamb, as it were. So maybe we'll do that. I think we're going to ignore this for now. This stack, I'd be strong enough, but I've already kind of moved past it, and I don't really want to come back for it at this point. So, yeah, not particularly necessary. So, I think what we'll do is we'll initiate this battle and just hope that I'm not biting off more than I can chew here. Let's give it a shot. And we'll then move this stack further north after this. I'm just trying to gain some additional experience, especially for my Necromancer hero in this particular stack. Alright, so our cadaver is not in the greatest of shape, so what we're going to do is we're going to move our Necromancer over here to drop a heal on the cadaver, get a little experience for our hero, and also keep him kind of far back from the battle so he's not in as much risk. And then we're going to kind of cycle over a little bit with our Night Guard and our Exterminator. And we'll actually spread them out a little bit better here. Let's see. There we go. We're going to keep our Wisp again sort of in reserve, I think I'm going to say. Kind of like that. And what I'm hoping is that the cadavers tank most of the damage here. Yep, there we go. That's exactly what we want. And now the... Gotta watch out for that pesky spy drone, because again, if that thing gets in on me, could be very, very dangerous. So then what we're going to do is we're going to move our cadavers in, do some flanking kills. There we go. Excellent. We got a level up for them as well, which is quite nice. And now we're going to hope this spy drone goes for the cadaver. Ooh, we got the kill there. That's not good. Now, let's see. What kind of damage can we do? Fortunately, not that much. And if we send our wisps in, they're going to get completely shreked. Alright, so I think what we're going to do is we can also recover our cadaver here, which is going to be important. So I'm going to have to think this one through quite a bit. So let's move in and attack the engineers first of all. There we go. Okay. Now we can move in and finish the engineers off. Like that. Okay, excellent. Now we can move in and attack the spy drone. We can also probably get the kill with our hero. Okay, I think what I'm going to do... What's the range on this like? Okay, so I need to move one more. I would like to revive the cadaver. So I think what I'm going to do... What's the radius of that explosive death? I think it's just in the immediate tiles around. I don't really want to put my hero in risk. But I think he'll be able to tank the damage, so even if he takes it at that range. So we're going to revive our cadaver. We're going to move in like this, and I'm hoping that we do enough damage here to be able to... Oh, not quite, eh? That's a shame. Ugh, this might not end as well as I was hoping. As long as we don't lose our executioner, that's the big thing. Okay, we're just fine. Whew! That was close, though. A little dangerous, but we managed to do it. Okay, just fine. We didn't lose anybody, although this the exterminator, I keep calling it the executioner. The exterminator is in very rough shape, so we're going to have to be careful. But got that done, and now with this stack, I'm going to just move right past. And, you know, it might be nice also, now that I'm thinking about it, there's a lot of structures down here. I think these are ancient ruins or something like that. I can kind of see. Might be nice to head down and check these out as well. We could also clear this out on my way down rather than going this way. And then, you know what? We could send this stack, rather than sending them north, we could send this stack along to clear out some of these structures. That might actually be kind of the big brain plan. Alright, you know what? Let's do it. So we'll send this army. We're going to grab this. Clear this out. And the reason I'm saying this is because I want to go clear out those higher level structures that have you know, potential item loot and higher rewards, which are going to be hopefully quite good for us. And now I'm really glad I have that spirit protection upgrade for my sorcerer there, as that's going to help us tremendously. Now it would be nice to have static shield on potentially my exterminator, who I want to send in. But there's our mariners. Ugh. So they have Mass Bless going on right now, which is giving them quite a decent advantage in terms of defense here. So they've got quite a bit of shock protection, which not so good for us. And we've got, let's see, Smite. Again, immune to that, so that's not going to help us. Could do quite a bit to the Mariner, but I don't think we want to do that. Divine Protection. I mean, we can basically just do a touch of faith, excuse me, to improve our unit's defense here. So if we were to send this one in, you see there, they're going to take quite a bit of damage and probably end up dying if we were to do that. So I think maybe what we'll do instead is we will summon our lightning sprite, and then we'll move over here. Oh, and the question now is, do I bestow Iron Heart, or do I do a touch by faith and give them the extra defense, or excuse me, the extra resistance? This is a tough call. So bestow Iron Heart gives extra health and the +1 defense, +1 resistance. This gives the morale boost, but also more importantly that +3 resistance, which I think is going to be helpful. Although that 7 health might end up mattering quite a bit. if we're going to send that unit in as our kind of bit of our sacrifice. I think we're going to do the touch by faith, though. And then we're going to send Malus back here to be in guard mode. And our Exterminator, I think we're going to just keep kind of sort of front and center here. Our Night Guard, sort of the same idea. And our Touched can kind of be our unit sort of in reserve, I think. Alright, now let's see what happens. I'm assuming we're going to get a Spirit Ray Blast. There we go, yeah. Alright, so we used up the attack there. That's excellent. That's pretty much exactly what we would have wanted. Now we can eliminate the Mariners. Perfect. Okay, and we can bestow Iron Heart. Oh, and you know what? I didn't realize this also gives Strong Will. Geez, I should have paid attention to that. Now this unit should be basically immune to... Yeah, now this unit's immune to spirit damage. So we can send that unit in. Geez, you know, and that's where you got to read the fine print. It doesn't matter, though, because we didn't lose anything. But I'm glad I realized that, because now this unit has, thanks to that Strong Will, has 100% spirit protection. So we can charge right in, get super aggressive, and not really worry too much about the repercussions. And I think we'll keep everybody else back. Ouch. A little bit of damage there. Nothing too catastrophic. And you know what? We can even do a little bit more blasting there. And then with Malus here, we can, again, do a bit more blasting. And then let's come in and do some big damage there if we want to. And then can we sprint in behind here? Yeah, we'll get the kill, no problem. Perfect. And we got a level up there for our touched unit. Okay, so yeah, important to remember there that bestow Iron Heart also gives, when you bestow it on a unit, gives it all that spirit protection. I'm sure some of you were like, why are you even talking about touch of faith? Just use the bestow Iron Heart. It'll give them spirit protection. I figured it out in the end, so not a huge problem, but yeah, that was just something to remember there. Okay, so now we can head down this way, and we're going to check out what's in these Beacon of Light. I'm assuming we're going to be strong enough at this point. Our units are starting to get pretty beefy, which is a good thing for us. And with this stack, I guess we will kind of just maybe move on this way. I think that's going to be the game plan here. There we go. And let's start casting. We are going to start summoning a Phantasm Warrior. It would be great to add to this stack, I think. And let's pick some more research. So now we have the ability to summon a fantastic creature. That's what we could research next. However, we could also start looking at a few of these other upgrades. And something like Arcane Study might be appropriate at this point, as we are going to have a laboratory very soon, and we do want to increase our research. So I'm going to do Arcane Study. We also do want more casting points, as always. And it would also, again, be nice to start working on our Grey Guard path to getting those upgrades as well. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to do Arcane Study, because we want to start generating more knowledge. And by the time this is done, we are going to be at a point where we're very close to having some laboratories going. So that's what we're going to do. And with this little guy, we're just going to keep exploring. Some mana over here we could go grab. We don't really need it all that badly, although we have quite a big capacity there. You can see we have 600 mana capacity, so you know what? I will grab it, as our mana income is not super high right now. You can see here we've got some Archon units guarding these particular structures. These are Archon forts. And these actually, if they're in your domain and you clear them, they unlock the Archon Garrison, which allows production of Archon Legionaries in this city. And that requires an Archon fort to be present in the domain of the city. So an Archon Legionary, I don't think is going to be that beneficial for us, because they are dedicated to good, which isn't exactly great, as we are not going to be dedicated to good. They do have Shadow Walker, however, which is kind of cool. And yeah, these are the Archons, which were present in prior Age of Wonders games. I remember playing Age of Wonders 2 as a kid, and I did play the Archons, I remember. So it is cool that this mod brings them back. I really do like that. And not their corrupted ancestors that have been left in the tombs. Okay, and here we go. We've got a haunted boneyard, and this is something that eventually maybe my necromancer could go visit, and that's going to be spawning units. So if I end up gaining this city, I'm going to have to remember that this is up here and spawning things that could potentially cause me some problems. So in the meantime, we're just going to keep exploring with this little guy. Eventually he'll probably be killed, but that's all right. We can just get as much kind of intel as we can before he goes down. And I think that's going to do it for our turn. So we're going to end our turn there. Eventually, I would like to maybe be able to make items in my throne city with an arcane forge and start producing items that allow my heroes to heal the units in their stacks. That would be fantastic. All right. But yeah, I'm very, very interested in what is exactly in these beacons of light. Ooh. Okay, we have some shadow demons rolling up on us here. We've got a shadow demon bombard and a shadow demon larva. So that tells me that there's probably something over here spawning shadow demons. Maybe something like this, I think it was called a larvae pool up here. So there's probably one of them over by this city. So that's going to be something I'm going to have to deal with. Unfortunately, our exterminator is still in very rough shape. However, I think we'd be able to manage the battle due to some, if I pull some kind of fancy maneuvers, which I'm going to try to do. All right, but let's check this out, because I'm quite excited to see what's in this beacon of light. Now, this was a gemstone mine. I thought this was an ancient ruin. It's kind of hard to tell the difference. Basically, a gemstone mine kind of looks like a dark quarry. You can see there, and we'll zoom in. I'm zoomed right in. You can see it's kind of like a dark version of a quarry. So, it can be kind of hard to tell the difference between that and an ancient ruin, which I think there's one up here that so this one here, because it's kind of a darker version of an ancient ruin in the Shadow Realm, I wasn't looking all that closely at it. Not a problem. It's still probably worth going down there and clearing it out. But let's check out this beacon of light. Oh my, okay. There's actually quite a mixture of units here, and they're going to have Blessing of Health as well. This won't be an easy battle. This shock trooper is going to pose some real danger for us. I think what we're going to have to do in this battle here, we will do it. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to make careful usage of our upgrades here. So we don't want to engage. Yes, okay, perfect. I was hoping that they wouldn't come at us right away. And the reason for that is because what I'd like to do here is get my Shadow Elf Exterminator kind of situated. We're going to bestow Static Shield, which is going to be helpful. We're going to give him a Touch of Faith. So now he's going to be our vanguard unit here. He's going to be our big boy going up front. Nice and beefed up at that point. So there we go. Our Night Guard is going to be our support melee unit, kind of to back up our exterminator. And then, so we've already done that. Our Touched is going to be in reserve when we need it. And Malus himself will kind of also be hanging around to do some melee damage. Alright, so our biggest threat is obviously going to be the devastating melee capabilities of this Orc Shock Trooper. Not to mention the fact that they have all that extra health from Blessings of Health. So this is probably the most challenging battle I've done so far, I would say, by quite a bit. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to summon a Lightning Sprite, like that. Now, another thing I could do is I could throw a spell down on somebody here. So Slayer's Doubt, let's see what that does. Attempts to lower target enemy unit's movement by 18 and morale by 800 until end of combat. If it fails, the unit suffers minus 50% movement for just one turn instead. So let's see, what's our chances of having... That's got a 75% chance of hitting that Shock Trooper. That's pretty darn solid. I'm going to give it a try. Let's see. Yes, okay, excellent. That's going to help us out quite a bit because, again, this was probably the scariest unit we were up against. So now that unit is at a pretty substantial hindrance because of that. So, all right, now we just kind of got to advance. Hope we can tank some of this damage. We're going to definitely have to take advantage of our heal. And if I have to sacrifice a unit, which I don't want to do, I'm probably going to have to sacrifice either the pikemen or the touched, but I don't want to do that. That's my least favorable outcome in this instance. Okay. So now we do have to do some damage pretty soon, as we are starting to... Alright, there we go. Now they're coming at us. We have to remember that these goblin butchers have lifesteal, of course. Alright, so let's see what kind of damage can we do here. Actually, decent amount. Alright, let's do that. There we go. So we're going to send our lightning sprite in. I think like this. Send our exterminator back here. Our night guard like this. And our touched can kind of hang back as well. So what I don't want to happen, I don't want... The thing that's really scary about this, and I wasn't really paying as much attention to, maybe I shouldn't have put this on the exterminator, these upgrades. I maybe should have put them on the night guard. And I say that because you notice how we have all these pikeman units, and I really wasn't even thinking about that. So, it's okay though. I think we'll be fine. We just have to be cautious here. So we'll put everybody in guard mode. We'll back ourselves up just a touch. And we're going to let them come. Boy, I'm a little nervous. I think this battle might have been a little more than I could... bit off a bit more than I can chew. Yeah, definitely not my smartest move. Thank goodness, though, we at least hindered that unit. Alright, so... I think we're going to use our sprint here. We're going to move in behind. And... let's see, can we... So we're going to do, let's see here, we'll do some math. So we're going to do a minimum of 15, or a maximum of 17 plus 6 would be 23. So we're going to be either, if we do 23, we're killing them, but chances are we're not going to get the kill. Now, so if we do this, we're going to get frost weapons. I don't know if that's going to make a huge difference for us. Let me think about this. Let's just try it. Let's hope we get the kill here. Nice, and we got the morale boost. That was huge. Okay. Perfect. Oh, and just give me a second here, guys. My mouse has died. I've had that happen once before in an episode, but no worries. I can just quickly remedy that situation. And I think we're back. Yes, we are. Perfect. Okay. Pardon the interruption there. Alright, so let's think some more about this. So now we can actually summon another lightning sprite, or we could dish out some punishment. I think we're going to summon another lightning sprite, because that's going to probably serve us the best here. So we're going to throw one up like this. There we go. Now our Night Guard are in kind of rough shape, so what we're going to do is we're going to drop a heal on them for sure. There we go. And then we are going to... I think we're going to just keep them as they are in defense mode. Now, Malus himself... It would be nice to start doing some damage to some of these units that are going to be coming at us. I think we're going to back up just a touch, though. And let's light up the Butcher there, who's going to give us some trouble, I'm sure. And we're going to just hope and pray that this goes well. Let's see what happens here. Okay, there goes that. Okay, so far our units are doing okay. We're tanking the damage decently well. Again, thank goodness we hamstrung these shock troopers, because that would have not been good. And let's see. Target does have first strike, so we will take some damage if we do that. However, we could just get the kill this way, which might be kind of nice. Let's do that. There we go. Okay. And then we could try and attack these halfling farmers here, maybe. Oof. Shadow Elf's Touched is going to take some big damage there, but might be kind of necessary. Alright, so the Goblin Butcher does here have shock weakness. I think that was inflicted after fighting that lightning sprite, which gave it shocked. So what we're going to do, we're We're going to take full advantage of that and see if we can get the kill. Not quite. I didn't do the math on it, and I probably should have. We can get the finish here, which is good. So let's do that. And now we can... Oh, the only problem is if we attack with this unit, then the Orc Shock... Ooh, but the Orc Shock Trooper can't move far enough. Okay, we're just fine. Again, that saved me. Doing this, using Slayer's Doubt, saved me in this battle, I think. And I still might lose somebody, but that at least gave me a fighting chance. Alright, let's do it. There we go. Okay, perfect. We got the kill. Okay. Whew. Huge sigh of relief there. Now we are cooking with gas. We are going to be okay, I think. So let's throw on this, because that's going to give us some physical protection. And then we're going to move in. There we go. Fantastic. Okay. Now I think we are good to go. So now we're going to be able to just bombard this shock trooper with ranged attacks here. And you know what? We can even summon ourselves another lightning sprite to help us out in this instance. And I think we will do just that. So we're going to throw up a lightning sprite like this. We're going to get ourselves out of range. Let the unit come in and attack the lightning sprite. We can see here its movement, so not a huge concern at this point. So we'll move up, attack the shock trooper. And same thing back here. Taking a bit of a range penalty, that's okay. Alright, so I'm assuming this unit's going to come in and attack the lightning sprite. There we go. Okay, and now we should be able to just... Oh yeah. No worries at all there. And you know what? We can also dispel magic, so let's try that just for some extra... And we failed. Just for some extra experience, I was going to say there. Alright. A little bit more damage. And we can come in here with our exterminators, who I think need the experience the most. And we'll get a little bit of lifesteal as well. Perfect. That was an extremely challenging battle. Holy cow. But we got it done. And only due to casting some spells with Virux there. That's really the thing that saved me. A human cavalry unit. I will definitely take that. Keeping in mind, of course, that this unit is going to take some penalty from being in the Shadow Realm. But I will take that reward and the extra gold that comes with it. This is fantastic. I'm going to send the human cavalry up to join my Necromancer stack, I believe. Because I think that's where it's going to probably do the most good. So we'll head up that way. And... You know, I could just wait a turn here and let these Shadow Demons attack me. That'll give my units a chance to heal a little bit more. Or I could proceed without the human cavalry and just take this unit out, or try to. Let's see. Yeah, you know what? I think we'll be fine. I think we can do it. We're gonna play a little bit risky here with this. So let's give it a shot. The reason I say that is because that bombard, if I'm not careful here, we might end up taking some... Oh! Yeah, there we go. I was hoping that they wouldn't attack my exterminator, as that would have been catastrophic. Alright, so again, we're going to have to be crafty in this battle. We don't want to lose anybody if we can avoid it. So I think we'll send our Wisp back a little bit. And I want to keep my Necromancer hero out of the worst of it. So we'll send our Exterminator back. Our Night Guard can move up just a touch. Let's see, what kind of range do they have? Alright, so the Bombard attack, it's not that damaging for me, so I'm not that concerned about it. I think Varaxen can actually handle a bit of it, so we'll just do some damage here. There we go. Okay. As long as they don't beat up on my Exterminator, basically. Okay, so the Wisp died. Not the end of the world. The Night Guard here can move in and basically get the kill, so, or close to it. Yeah, no problem there. And then we can do some big damage here with our Cadaver, which we will do. Excellent. And then we can actually move in and just get the kill with our Necromancer, and a nice level up for our Necromancer hero. Perfect. A little bit unfortunate that I lost the Wisp, but again, not the end of the world. So now we have a lot of hero level ups to do, so let's take care of that. So we have our level up for Malus himself. Lots of options here. We could give him Strong Will. We could give him Vision Range upgrade. But here we could give him Mend Magical Being, which would be nice for units that are summoned. And outside of combat, this ability will heal plus 15 among all valid units. So any magical origin unit, which if we do get a hold of any shadow demons, this would be useful for them. For healing them, I should say. You know what? I'm going to take it. And that's, I think, all I'm going to do for that level up. It's not that useful for me at the moment, but it will become useful later, I think. All right, level 6 for Virix here. I'm actually going to save the points because we are going to get both healing and convert in the next level up, so I'm going to save those points. And now for our Necromancer at level 3. Lesser Reanimate Undead is going to be our choice there. Able to keep those cadavers alive. Very useful. Okay, and we've had some more roving units here, and these ones popped through, I'm assuming, this Shadow Gate. So, important there. We're going to maybe have to go through this Shadow Gate and clear out whatever is spawning these units. I'm assuming that's where it came from. I could be wrong, but that would be my guess. Alright, well, I guess maybe we don't want to leave this unit alone then if there's roving units nearby. So, I guess we'll just group up. Actually, you know what? It makes more sense to have this unit be one step ahead. The reason for that is because there's a little bit of reduced movement with these two units compared to cavalry. So I think we'll just keep it like this. There we go. And let's finish our scouting up here with our... Oh, some more shadow demons, so we got to watch out. So they are... Oh, look at this. They're just everywhere. My goodness. All right, well, we don't want to be attacked by them and lose our units. So... we'll stick to the mountains there. That's going to at least give us a bit of a buffer. But important to remember that those shadow demons are roaming around everywhere, and we don't want to... Oh, here we go. We got another haunted boneyard. So lots of opportunities for our leveled up necromancer eventually to come and make lots of new friends. Here we go. Oh, got some gold over here, which I think we will head over to. That's quite nice. All right, now the question with this stack is, what do I do with them now? We've already cleared out one of these, but we've used up casting points here, and that was, again, a very sketchy battle in a sense. I don't know if I want to risk another one, but let's at least take a look in here and see what we have. Oh, hell no. We are not doing this one because we've got all this fire damage, which is going to be very, very deleterious for our units due to their fire weakness as Shadow Elves. So, negative on that battle. Not happening. Not until we're stronger, if at all. That makes me all the happier that I was able to eke out this victory there. All right, let's do this little battle, and then I think probably that will do it for this episode. So we'll eliminate this stack here. This will also give me an opportunity to drop a heal maybe on somebody as well. All right, so we will summon our Lightning Sprite. And let's move our Theocrat in behind here and drop a heal on our Night Guard, who could use the help. And our Exterminator will kind of move up just a touch, in addition to our touched unit. And there we go. Alright, so we'll stop there. So we've got these Arcane Archers who we have to watch out for. They do quite a bit of damage. They've got Arcane Arrows, which do a lot of shock damage. We've got Night Guard and Touched. So, fortunately, a lot of these units are resistant to shock. So we've got shock protection here, 80% on our Storm Priest, for example. Very powerful. I don't know if our Exterminators have nearly that amount of shock. They actually don't have any, technically. But they don't have any weakness, I guess, which is good. So what we will do, though, is we will drop a Touched by Faith there as a buff. Alright, let's see what happens here. Okay, they're not attacking. That's fine. So I think what we'll do is we'll move our Lightning Sprite in like this. Take some damage, probably. Which is fine. That's kind of what we expect is going to happen. And then Malus can move up a bit. I'm going to just kind of move everybody in just a touch here. Like that. And again, we don't want to risk anybody getting overzealous here, but alright, there, that'll do it. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so they moved that way. Some arcane arrows came in, nothing too crazy. Nothing we couldn't handle. Alright, let's do some damage here. We can get the kill, no problem. And then we can move in and get the flank attack here. And the kill, which is perfect, exactly what we needed. We can move in like this. Actually, let's take a peek at these arcane archers before I take them out here. So, pretty interesting looking units. I like these guys quite a bit. Basically a standard kind of archer type unit. Nothing too crazy about them. Arcane arrows here, let's take a look at this. Medium range can trigger up to 3 times. It does have a line of sight penalty. Arcing shot, 50% line of sight penalty. No long range damage penalty. So it's very much the same as the longbow attack from high elf archers, which is that's actually really fantastic. And of course, like any ranged attack, can't be used while the unit is engaged, or I should say any 3-hit ranged attack like that. So that's really powerful when you think about it, that there's no long range damage penalty. Fantastic. And let's look at this. Nothing crazy until we hit elite level, where you get inflict shocking and exploit shadows. So there's a lot of synergy with shadow elf units kind of with each other, which is really cool. I really do like that. Alright, so let's do a bit of damage there. And can we get the kill? Well, we'll be close. Not quite. No problem. So now we'll just finish them off here. Yeah, there we go. We've already kind of done all our healing and everything else. Don't think we can mend a magical being or anything like that. However, we can try for a Dispel Magic for some extra experience there. Yeah. Alright, well, let's come and get the kill then with Malus himself, because we want to level him up too. There we go. Perfect. Good battle to end on there, as we got what we needed to get finished. So far, so good. Alright, so that's going to do it for this episode. Let's just zoom out and get a nice view here. So we vassaled 2 cities, which was great for us. We're getting quite a bit of extra income going. We did some exploring and some leveling up. And we also acquired that Necromancer hero, which I am just super pumped about, as you guys can probably imagine. But let's save this one here. So we will call this one episode 2. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.